up, you guys? It's Justine coming to you live on my actual birthday. It is the day after my party. I barely have a voice. We've still got decorations up, but I am here to bring you a deal, a gift on my birthday. Yes, that's right. I said it. I'm giving you a gift on my birthday because right now you can eat stress-free this spring with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. You can head to factormeals.com/glitter50 and use code glitter50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next box. That is 2 deals in one. How is this real? This is such a good deal. That is code glitter50 at factormeals.com/glitter50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next box while your subscription is active. You guys, I need to be on Factor Meals for the rest of my life because all I ate was cake last night. So it's Factor Meals from here on out. And now to the episode with Sophie Buddle. I don't see the headphones, so I don't ever wear. Good. Okay. I don't wear the headphones because they don't look very cute.
No, and I can do the sunglasses off if I'm replacing it with headphones.
Yeah.
But it's
I love the sunglasses on.
Thank you. I have this little hair thing too that I decided not to commit to, but just like a cute little hair clip.
I love a cute hair clip.
Yes.
You guys, welcome to Glitter and Garbage. I'm Justine Marino here with one of my favorite comics in LA right now.
Shut the front door.
No, you really are so fucking funny. You're gorgeous. That's like the key to my heart is hot and funny.
Thank you. You're funny and gorgeous.
Thank you so much. You guys, she has been on The Tonight Show. Mm-hmm. She has a show at the upcoming Netflix Is a Joke Festival. It is Sophie Buddle.
Yay. Please sit down.
Yes.
Show off, everybody.
Standing ovation.
Yeah. This is so much fun. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. Wait, tell us before we get to anything, the details on your Netflix Is a Joke date. Where and when?
I don't remember what day. It's the first week of May.
Perfect.
It's at the Hollywood Improv.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's so great. That's going to be such a blast.
Yes, I'm so excited. But yeah, this is so much fun. I'm so excited to talk to you today. I feel like we have so much to get into.
We have so much to get into. I know. I'm so happy. I remember I met you in the main room, green room at the Comedy Store. We were doing Esther's show, which Esther is a friend on the pod. She's been on several times.
So sweet, so funny.
She's the best. So funny. I started with her. I love Esther. But immediately we bonded because you were wearing a North Face fleece, which was like the jacket of my high school.
You can't really go wrong with that. Mm-mm. And also if you're feeling bloated or if you're having any kind of body issues that day, to just be like a colorful square.
Yes.
Is kind of so freeing.
It's so freeing. It's also kind of iconic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Once you find your color, I'm going for dolphin trainer colors.
Yes.
That's my palette.
It makes so much sense. Like I walked in and you were in this beautiful like teal turquoise and I was just like, I could never personally pull that off.
It's not one of your colors?
Thank you so much. But
absolutely, you could pull that off.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I stick to more like the reds, the bright pinks, the blacks, you know? But you know what? Now that you've given me that confidence, I might try a dolphin trainer vibe.
So my background is I barely graduated high school and then dropped out of fashion school.
Okay.
But one thing that I gathered from fashion school is that everybody's always telling us how to dress for our body type and how to flatter this and how to downplay that.
Yeah.
And I don't think I believe in that. And I also don't think that I believe in sticking to your colors.
Yeah.
And so obviously I just said that I'm liking doing dolphin trainer colors right now, but I think that you should dress whatever style you like, and there's ways to do it that makes you feel comfortable.
I love that.
Right?
And I love fashion, so it's like I just instinctively, I was like, I have to have Sophie on.
You're such a fashion girl.
Thank you so much.
Immaculate style.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I really live for other people's approval on my fashion. So
and you take compliments really well, too.
Thank you.
I do, too. I love compliments. It's always so funny to me when somebody just said to me, oh, you don't take compliments very well. And I was like, I'm going to be riding on this high for 3 weeks. I don't know what in my face implied that I didn't enjoy that.
Yes, exactly. I know. Well, I think as women, we've been trained to like, if someone gives us a compliment, like I heard it just last night. In the bathroom, someone was like, oh, complimenting this girl. I was at a show. It was a crazy show, and a bunch of girls came in, probably to do coke. But I
the most supportive environment.
It's
though.
so supportive.
Girls on coke in the bathroom.
No, it was so good.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, I better get out of here before I get into trouble.
Getting too big,
I know. But no, it was so supportive immediately because I was like, oh, I'm about to go out. They were like, oh my God. They immediately became my fan club. It was the best. But one girl complimented this other girl's beautiful curly hair, and immediately she was like, thanks, it's humid out, so it's not that, like, she downplayed it, you know? And I feel like I really think women, we're all gorgeous and we should all take all the compliments, you know?
Yeah. But like, especially curly hair. I have curly hair, Jewish.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so obviously it's not as, like when I leave it curly, it's not as nice as it should be because I damage it with all of my behavior. Like I bleach it. I don't even have a Dyson. I'm a Revlon. I'm using a Revlon.
Yeah, you are.
When I tell you it looks burnt to a crisp. Are you a Dyson, I assume?
You know what? I had a Brazilian blowout for a bit. And then I'll do like a rough blow dry and then I'll just braid it and it'll just get kind of wavy.
Amazing. Amazing.
I'm lazy.
Every really curly hair girl has like a pretty long specific routine. It's actually much longer to do your hair natural than it is to blow dry it.
Totally.
And so, I have this horrible Revlon that I got like 2 years ago. Yeah. There's actual things in it, like the round brush style.
Yeah.
There's actual things in it that look like they've been burnt, and I'm not sure how. There was also one time that I was at my boyfriend's parents' place, and they have like a big country, like rural area. And I had left the Revlon out for a while. Yeah. And there was a bit of an earwig situation in the basement.
No.
I went back to LA from Canada where they are. I turned it on and dead earwig fell out of it.
Stop.
And I was so grossed out, and I cannot believe I didn't purchase another one. I've been stuck with this.
You still have the same one?
They're like $10. Like I have no idea why I haven't purchased another one yet.
You know, I think blow dryer technology, we've come so far that like, a $10 drugstore one, like it can do the job, you know?
I know. I'm worried that if I replace it, I'm going to get a dud. And this one has withstood many wars.
I mean, the earwig.
I think this Revlon thing is going to be my legacy. I'm going to pass this on to my grandchildren.
I think you should. I'm kind of the same way with my flat iron because, having curly hair, and my hair's not super curly, but it's wavy. It's like pretty curly underneath. And then on top, it's weird and I have to go over it with a wand, but I have a lot of thick hair, so the drugstore flat irons, they don't do it for me. I have to get this, it's called Babyless. It's an amazing brand, but I've had the same one for so long and I'm afraid if I get a new one, it won't get it as sleek. It is for sure damaging my hair. Yes. I turn it up all the way up to 450.
Oh, whenever there's an amount. I do have the Dyson hair straightener.
Oh, good.
And I always turn it up maximum. There's no reason.
Yeah.
It's just faster if it's really hot.
You know what's funny is that over Black Friday, I went into Ulta to get the makeup deals, and there was a woman doing a Dyson demonstration, and she was doing it on my hair, and she couldn't get it. She kept being like, see, it just goes perfect. And she was terrible at it.
She couldn't get it to latch?
No, like, you know how... Yes, exactly. Like, it was like a child that wouldn't latch.
Yes, onto a titty.
Bosom, onto a titty. Oh, my God. Okay.
I feel like we should switch, because it's like people, whenever like somebody's breastfeeding, it's breastfeeding.
Yeah.
And then if it's like sexual, it's a titty. I feel like we should swap them. I feel like a kid wants to suck on your titty.
Yeah.
And you're trying to see a woman's breast.
Yes, that's true. Breast feels so much more like mature.
It's distinguished.
Yes, it is distinguished.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, we have so much to talk about.
Okay. Yeah. I actually had something that I wanted to bring up first that I listened to. It was a podcast on my way here.
Yes, please.
So I listen to a lot of different newsy podcasts.
Yeah.
Daily, every day. My other favorite one is Vox Explained or Vox Daily Explained or something.
Yeah.
And their one today was about all these kids people in their early 20s are all moving back in with their parents. And I am really interested to hear your take on this kind of Gen Z's issues. I feel like the main pillars of their issues are, AI is taking a lot of jobs.
Yes.
AI is kind of probably going to take over a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
Because...
Oh, interesting.
Yes. And so this is something that I would love to talk about.
Yes.
So, teenagers are not having sex with each other at the rates that we were when we were teens. I don't know about you. I was drinking in the forest,
and I was dripping.
I mean, maybe. I mean, when you're a teen, of course, you're
dripping,
horny for anything.
you know? Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But like,
Yes,
definitely,
totally.
they're not doing drugs. They're not having sex with each other. They've become a lot less social because of, you know,
like social
you can
media.
connect on social media.
Yeah.
Also, COVID made everybody go home.
Right.
In kind of their key learning how to socialize years.
Sure.
And also, everybody is so depressed and anxious from social media that social stuff is like so much harder.
Right.
And then another thing that I just learned about that's difficult for Gen Zs to create relationships is there's like a really big political divide between genders.
Interesting.
And so, like, guys are getting much more conservative and girls are getting much more liberal.
Yeah.
The theory that I heard in whatever it is I was listening to was that guys spend more time on YouTube, which radicalizes you in that direction.
Right.
And girls spend way more time on TikTok, which radicalizes you in the other direction.
Interesting.
And neither side really wants to compromise and be with somebody that they disagree with politically.
Right.
And so, I mean, I'm going on and on. There's like so many other things we could talk about, but
So interesting.
But yeah, what do you think is like their solution is? Okay, so the podcast today, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Is a bunch of early 20s are moving back home with their parents.
Right.
I feel like that's great. I feel like if you have that as an option, if you have get along with your parents, if they have a room for you, save that money.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's also obviously going to affect relationships.
Totally.
It's hard to bring a date home.
It is hard to bring a date home. That's funny because I lived with my parents. So I moved out here when I was 20, and it was just going to be for the summer. My dad was doing some work for Disney. He's a producer. And then I was like, I can't leave. I left college. I dropped out and was like, I must stay.
What were you taking in college?
Theater, film, and TV. So it was like
fashion. Same.
Yeah, fashion.
Yeah.
We didn't need those.
We didn't excel academically.
Yeah. So anyway, my parents would kind of come back and forth from Denver, which is where I grew up, and I like kind of lived with them until I was like 24. So
I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
if my mom lived here, I'd live with my mom. Easy.
It's easy. You save money, whatever. I was new to town, but it was a little like back then, even for me before social media. I mean, of course there was like Facebook and stuff, but it wasn't like it is now. And even back then it was a little harder to meet people. Like it wasn't until I started taking classes at like Groundlings and stuff that I really got outside of my shell. So I do wonder like, how is that going to be for like relationships?
Okay,
I have heard a lot that they are not having sex a bunch.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I, like you, I drank in high school, I partied. Everyone knows I blew a lot of people.
Oh my God, I was the blowing bandit in high school. Who did I not blow? I mean, popular though, I'm sure. Look at us.
So popular. I know. But totally. So I wonder, but that's also like, you have funny stories and you kind of collect these what people call now core memories that like I don't think like being on your phone in like a basement is producing a lot of core memories.
For what years were you as an adult? Was it fully 18 to 24 or did you have a period of like on your own?
My freshman year of college I went to CSU, which was in Fort Collins, and I lived in the dorms, but I hated it because it was like a cow town and I was like, not for me. No. So I went back to Denver my second year and lived at home and went to CU Denver, which was like in the city, but it was more of a commuter school. So it was older people. But yeah, so I lived with them then. And then when I moved out here till I was 24, and then they were like, bitch, come on, get it together.
And so what did you notice that did you feel like you were missing out on stuff when you were there?
Yeah. And it was so interesting when I finally was like alone. I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like the first time you drive by yourself and you're like, I feel like I'm doing something bad.
I don't drive. I don't have a driver's license.
Have you never driven?
No.
Really?
I mean, I've driven. I've never had a driver's license.
I'm like, drive us home.
Yeah. I've been just waiting for the technology to keep up and then I could just be in a self-driving car.
Yeah, no, totally. Look, driving is so annoying. I hate it.
It just really feels like it makes everybody their worst self. And also I have very severe ADHD. And so I do feel worried that I'm going to zone out and people will die.
Yeah, I've definitely gotten into a few accidents.
Zoning out.
Mm-hmm. I rolled my Jetta back.
Not your Jetta.
My Jetta.
What a cute girl car, honestly.
It was like the car.
What color?
Black with black interior.
She's chic.
Stick shift too.
Stick shift. I mean, that's a little bit more.
I know.
Who is she?
But even like with the stick shift, my parents were like, "Oh, it'll help her pay attention more." Still, just fucking zoned out. Rolled it over.
Rolled it over. That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, it was. But I walked out without a scratch. But yeah, it was.
Many died. Schools of children. Yeah.
No one else survived.
Yeah, you're like, driving's honestly a bummer. So many dead kids everywhere.
Oh my God. But yeah, I think what is the solution for Gen Z though? Are you, I feel like you're younger than me.
So I'm 29. I was born in 94. And so I'm like the youngest millennial.
Okay, great. And I'm one of the oldest millennials.
I mean, and look at us here, looking the same.
I know, right? I love you. God, I love you.
But no, you look amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, but and also because I started stand up when I was a teenager, you know, everybody was 30. And so I do feel like I age up.
You
like
have
I know
a
all those references. Yeah.
Vibe.
Totally. People have always thought I was older.
Yeah.
And I feel connected to Gen Z in the ways that like I had technology when I was really young. And so I do feel like I have that in common with them.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm pretty close with my teen cousins. I do feel like I'm invested in Gen Z.
Sure.
I'm very interested generationally.
Yeah. Me too.
Because they're really stressed out. It seems like a really unhappy generation.
Yeah, I know. Look, I have a couple of Gen Z cousins, and one of them is totally like me in high school. Like little party girl, has all the boyfriends, you know, fucking drinking as a teen.
Good. I love to hear that.
Could not be proud.
What an old soul.
I know.
So she's blacked out in a field. You're like, honestly, kind of mature for her age.
I'm like, wow, get it, bitch.
Yeah, no, I love to see that.
I know, so proud. Like, she takes after me. But then I do hear about these other ones who are a little bit more isolated, stunted. Yeah, and it does make me sad, and I don't know. And because it's crazy. Like, I was around, like, MySpace was my first foray into social media, you know? And, like, so I can't imagine now.
Give me a little rundown on MySpace, because I didn't do MySpace.
Right.
That was, like, I had Facebook and Instagram in high school.
Sure.
And Twitter maybe after I left high school.
Right.
But truly, obviously, I'll reference MySpace for fun. But what was the vibe? Were people picking each other up? Was it like a personal brand thing?
Yeah. So it was more of like a friend spot. It wasn't quite as personal brand, like business oriented as like Instagram and all these other platforms are now.
Yes.
But I definitely dated a guy that I slid into his DMs on MySpace.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
And did you love his personal brand he had created?
Yes, I did. We loved.
Was it because of his MySpace page that you liked him?
Well, he was in the Groundlings, and I was a student there, and I thought he was cute. And then I went to a show of his, and I think I like friended him on MySpace, and then we started chatting, and then whatever, you know.
I mean,
the rest is history.
Picking somebody up on MySpace, that feels like Riz.
Right.
That's like heavy Riz you gotta have.
So much Riz.
Yeah.
But what was fun about...
And you slid in.
I slid in.
Are you a chaser?
You know, I'm normally not a chaser, actually, but with this... There was something, the Riz on this guy was just like...
You had to chase.
I had to chase.
I mean, he's a magnet. If he's magnetic, you have to go for it.
He was magnetic. I could not chase.
I love to hear that. That's so fun.
No, what about you? Are you a chaser?
No.
I'm so not. Normally I'm so lazy, but something in this guy just, you know, sometimes there's just someone who will just bring something out of you.
Makes you feral.
Yeah,
of course.
Feral.
Of course. And it's always that they don't like you.
Exactly.
100% of the time, if you're not a chaser and you're chasing, it's a person that does not like you.
Exactly.
He does not care if you live or die.
Yes.
And that's what makes you feral.
Exactly. You're like, wait, I'm so used to all these guys loving me. What's wrong with this guy?
He doesn't like you at all.
Yeah. No, it's true. It is true. And I've like read all the books, but still I just couldn't get it through my head.
No, that's a core memory. That is absolutely a core experience that everybody should
I agree. I did have to do it twice, once at 21 and at 25 with the same guy.
But you were at home in between. It's like, it was a reset. You had to get back into your adult shoes.
You know what's hilarious is he, no joke, did come over and stay over when my mom was there. Isn't that crazy?
Do you have like a cool mom?
I do have a cool mom.
I have a cool mom too.
Yeah. She was a cool mom. Like, we didn't like, she wasn't like giving us alcohol at my house, but she let my high school boyfriend stay over. It's so funny.
That's cool. They all have their boundaries.
Yeah.
All cool moms have like a couple things they'll do and a couple they want to do. That's why they're cool, because it's like otherwise they're just negligent.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think she just was always worried about like someone drinking and then driving away from our house and like...
Oh my God, drinking and driving is a great line to draw. I stan your mom.
Thank you so much. She's great. You would love her. She looks more like your mom. She has more your coloring. She's very like, she's blonde, very like Irish and like English and French and stuff.
Yes, I do have a theory that I would do really well in England for some reason.
I think you would.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what the feeling is.
Yeah, I think like you do well across the board. Like stand up with guys. Like
thank you. You're so sweet.
You're so sweet. I love this. This is just the compliment pod now.
Yeah,
and I'm loving it.
This is how you do it.
This is how you do it.
Yeah.
Wait, but I do have to share one thing on MySpace that was really interesting. Was you could pick a song that played when people went to your page, which was
what a
hilarious.
menace. What a menace. Like if you open something and sound starts, it's like I'm getting off that page.
Yeah, this was just like, I had one friend who later got into some trouble with the law, but I think his song was very telling. It was Chamillionaire's Ridin' Dirty.
Oh, I love that song.
It's so
That's a good song.
Yeah, so every time I hear it, I think of my friend's MySpace page.
My boyfriend and I always call it Ridin' Dirty if a cab doesn't have its, or has its light on, but they have people in there, so they're like not actually available. That's Ridin' Dirty.
Oh, that is Riding Dirty.
Oh, and then I have one other dorkier one that we also call Ridin' Dirty. I'm realizing I say Ridin' Dirty so frequently in my life.
Such a good phrase.
I don't know if you've ever played Settlers of Catan. It sounds nerdier than it is.
I've heard of it. I haven't played it.
It's so easy. It's just like I play on my iPad before I go to bed every night.
I love that.
But basically, you're only ever allowed to have 7 cards in your hand at a time, but you can still be collecting more.
Sure.
Point is only that if you're in the red, it's Ridin' Dirty. This will be just for the Catan heads.
I love that. For the Catan heads out there, you can ride
It's dirty. Honestly the girliest game. Like, I cannot believe that more people are not aware of it.
I'm so glad you came on Glitter and Garbage to spread awareness.
I know. I'm sponsored by Catan Universe on iPads.
I love it. I'll have to check it out.
Please. It's really so fun. I have it on my iPad. Truly, every night you can play online. It's free.
Ooh.
It's really... I find it's so difficult to find entertainment that's free besides like social media.
Sure.
Catan Universe.
Yeah, I love that.
That's the antidote.
I love that that's the antidote. I know, free, it's like, but also even on social media, it doesn't even feel like it's free because you're going through all these ads now. I
mean, you're paying with your soul and your well-being.
Oh, you really are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely
And also I purchase everything advertised to me, so technically that's paying.
I know, I do too. I'm such a fucking sucker. I am so easy to scam. Like,
Same.
I'm just, I don't know what I'm like, yes, please take all my money.
They have absolutely all of the information about you. It's how could it be our fault that they've used that to find the perfect targets for us?
Yeah. It's so true. Yeah. I mean, they're using our own, we know, but also what's crazy is we know and we continue to partake in it. Isn't that insane?
It's an addiction.
It is an addiction.
And I just heard this study that was so interesting that was like, they were offering people a certain amount of money to not go on social media for like 1 month or 3 months, like some amount of time between a month and 3 months.
Yeah.
And then most people were like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then the follow-up question was, if all of your friends, all of the main people in your circle also agreed to do it, would you do it? And everyone was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And so such a big part of it is just the FOMO.
Absolutely. And also I am afraid the algorithm is going to punish me too.
I mean, of course, it's so frustrating with our job that how much we have to post and feed it.
And also, I don't know if you've experienced this because you post clips too. Mm-hmm. Anytime I post a carousel with like cute pictures just from my life, just like, and it's comedy related still, or like, but like a cute outfit and then like a couple other like videos and stuff just from my week, you know, I lose like 150 followers.
Yeah, I mean, so much of that, when you have a large number of followers, a lot of it's just, that's just gonna happen. Yeah. Like every day I lose 100 followers, but it's just, that's...
But it's funny because it's almost the exact same number only when I post a carousel. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
To the point where I'm like, I'm like psycho about it. I'm like, are they punishing me for not posting reels?
Yeah.
I think there's maybe more menacing underneath that we know.
Well, no, there definitely is. Like, definitely my manager had a meeting with somebody at Meta and found out that they are heavily pushing reels. Like, they want you to post reels. They want you to post 3 reels a week.
That makes sense.
And if you're going to post an image, it has to be a carousel. And it's like stuff like that. But I really hope... I think that it'll probably end up taking another social media to pop up.
Right.
Because it doesn't feel like there's a way for Instagram to go back.
I don't think so either. Because literally anytime I post, like, comedy flyers are a little different. But when I post like something that's just like a dump of like some fun thing, which dump is such a weird thing. When I post one of my dumps, I lose followers.
I know. What's the big idea? You don't like that? No, it is. So, I mean, I don't know if you have a Finsta, like a private Instagram.
I don't. I should.
So I have one.
Oh,
It's like 20 of my inner circle people.
Smart.
I post whatever I want, a single ugly picture, whatever, a screenshot of someone I'm making fun of. Like,
God.
it really is. It is kind of the only way to have that on Instagram.
It's
I think.
so true.
Yeah. And then also there's like close friends. Like there's little ways to make Instagram slightly more human.
I know.
But because of the need for us to grow our following and blah blah blah, it's dumb. Like it really can kill you. And I think that it's so bad for stand up. And you are such a true stand up. Like you I'm sure feel the same way where there's a lot of people that are newer, that are coming up, that are clearly writing for reels. Right. Like it's the same people that kind of read their tweets on stage.
No, it's true. It's like damaging to the art form.
To the art form. One of the things that I love so much about stand up is how long form it is, and how we're given time to really breathe and really get our point across, and then do callbacks, and like that's what's fun about it. Is really like sinking into stuff. Agree. And it's absolutely impossible to post that in 90 seconds.
Yeah, no, it is. And it's like, and also it's like all these crazy crowd work videos are what pop off. So
do you do crowd work?
I do, yeah.
Do you post sometimes?
I post my crowd work, yeah. I've always done crowd work just because I worked a lot with Ian Bagg when I first started, fellow Canadian. Yes. And he does all crowd work. And then I hosted a lot. And then I was also a tour guide at Universal Studios.
Fun.
It was fun.
And you're doing crowd work?
I would do crowd work.
Stop. That's so fun.
At Universal. So, and one of my jobs
you would love Mickey.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But so I just always like had jobs where crowd work, like my day jobs were always kind of crowd work.
Do you have, I'm sure you have strategies and theories about crowd work, because I've only started doing crowd work since I've started posting, and I prefer to post a little crowd work thing than butcher a joke down.
That's the other thing, is you don't want to burn. It's an easy way to not burn material.
Yeah, and it absolutely does do well online, and I have no judgment of crowd work stuff online. It does well. You're not burning material.
Totally.
Clearly it's connecting with people, and I think part of it is what we were talking about with the Gen Z stuff, is that they are so desperate for human to human in the same room interaction that crowd work actually gives you that feeling, because you know that it's just happening right there.
Yes.
Like I realized that because I was posting just straight up stand up for quite a while, once a week, you know. Right. And I was getting followers from it, and people were liking my stand up and stuff.
Your clips are great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I realized that you're not really, it's very polished. Yeah. Because stand up, you know, you kind of were like, they're being so vulnerable on stage. They're sharing these things, but we're picking exactly what to share and when to pause. And like, it's so not vulnerable actually. Yeah. Whereas doing crowd work, it is. Yeah. And it's you're on the line to entertain.
Sure.
It does feel like higher stakes, and it feels,
it's exciting.
It is exciting. I have a hard time knowing how much crowd work to do. You know, when you talk to somebody for a little while, and there's nothing's really that interesting is happening, when do you bail on it?
Honestly, I try and bail, I try and just get one laugh, and then I'll kind of bail. Okay, I don't really I mean, unless it's I'm really the audience is really loving it, but because it's so hard sometimes, to just, because you don't know, but that's kind of what I like. Because again, I come from the groundlings training, improv, you know, and so I get bored doing my material all the time. Yes. And so it's fun. It also just keeps me present because I have ADHD too. Yes. So it really forces me to focus and be present in every set.
And it's so true that it's you get bored doing your material. Like the only time I feel bad about stand up, because I love stand up so much, the only time I feel bad is if I'm doing my exact polished A material too much. Yeah. Because you know that that's good. You know that works. That's your A stuff.
It's not a challenge.
If it does anything other than magical in the room, you're like, oh, I guess it's not even good. Right. Whereas if you're doing something new or you're doing crowd work, even if it is mediocre, that's more than you had before as opposed to less.
Totally. And also I think whenever I do new stuff or crowd work or whatever, it just brings an energy because it's fresh, you know, and I'm excited about it.
My idea for crowd work, because it's with clips and with crowd work, I realized that you just have to make it your own somehow.
Yeah.
And because everybody's doing it, and it's so easy to be like, oh, everybody's doing that. But it's like, once you find a way to make it fun for you, then it's exciting. So what I want to start doing, because I have a lot of political material about American politics is I want to start having a more Democratic leaning person and a more Republican leaning person come up and discuss.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everybody is kind of closer to the middle than it seems on the news.
Yes, totally.
And I think like asking them both what they think of the other side is, I think it would really like open stuff up. I think that would be
so
fun.
Too.
Yeah.
And especially if it's something that you're interested in. I'm so all for like following what you're interested in, because that'll lead you to your unique voice and point of view, and you'll still be excited about it.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. What's up, you guys? Justine here again, still on my birthday, to give you this delicious deal and gift. Eat stress-free this spring with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. You guys, you know I love Factor meals so much. So I'm so relieved that I have some very easy, nutritious Factor meals ready to go. I don't have to think about anything, no prep, no shopping. I've already done that little step of self-care, so I know that I can eat all the cake and red vines I want last night, and now I'm on to my Factor meals. It could not be easier. As you guys know, I never set foot in a kitchen to do any actual cooking, like for cute pics and vibes, like sure. But I don't actually cook or do anything dangerous, like with knives or open flames in there. So it's just so nice that I can just order my Factor meals. My favorite one is the curry tofu. It is so delicious. I can just pop them in the fridge. They don't need to be frozen. They're actually never frozen. And then I just pull them out when I want, and they're delicious, you guys. They're really delicious. I'm like salivating right now just thinking about the tofu one. But I have great news, you guys, because right now you can head to factormeals.com/glitter50 and use code glitter50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next box. That is code glitter50 at factormeals.com/glitter50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next box while your subscription is active. You guys, get on this. This is multiple deals within one deal. Cannot recommend this highly enough. Get on this Factor deal. And happy birthday to me. Now back to the episode with Sophie Buddle. Well, speaking of Gen Z, and living with your parents, let's start with this. I woke up today and read some sad yet not surprising news about Gypsy Rose.
Yes.
Gypsy Rose has separated from her husband.
Devastating.
Devastating.
Is love even real?
I don't know. I mean, she said the D was fire. I don't know if you remember.
No, I didn't remember that. I followed the story when it first kind of made a big splash, and then I haven't kept up with the 9 docuseries that they made about her.
Right. So I'm same. Like, I watched one show about it, and I was like, I get it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I got it. Yeah.
I think I watched like the original.
I think so too. I'm sure we watched the same thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
the original documentary, and then they had all these other ones, and I'm like, we get it. But then she got released, and there was this quote that went viral a few months ago because she married this guy in prison, and she was talking about how they were just boning all the time and how, quote, the D is fire. And looking at him, he doesn't have D is fire energy.
It's just simply no, it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just simply that it was not, and that's fine. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, we're not shaming anybody for anything.
No.
It's just simply that it was not.
Yeah, no. And also, like,
we know that she lies.
Yes, she does.
This would not be the first lie.
Exactly. This would not.
She's like, I did not kill anybody. The D is fire.
And
we're like,
okay,
Gypsy, babe.
Gypsy,
yeah,
babe.
Sweetie.
Yeah, hun. No, but also she hadn't had that much D, so like we can't trust. Like, she wasn't blowing everyone in high school. Like us, you know?
We know who is well blown. If we're blowing somebody and we're like, the D is fire, we have boots on the ground.
Yes,
we have the stats for it.
We do have the
Between
stats.
the two of us, we could do a census. But one thing that I was really thinking about that situation is, one thing I wanted to talk to you about, this is all tied together.
Yes, totally.
Is I am very interested in Love is Blind.
Yes.
I've been watching Married at First Sight Australia, but it's the same as Married at First Sight anywhere.
Sure.
Except they're all Australian.
Yeah.
Whatever. I have a beef with Australia, but
I love it.
I think between Gypsy Rose marrying this guy in prison. Everybody wanting to go on Love is Blind,
right.
Married at First Sight. I think there's like a weird trend towards arranged marriages.
Yes.
And I think it has to do with this weird separation of genders and stuff. I think it's a macro trend.
Wow.
Hear me out.
Yes.
And I know that it's not technically arranged marriages, but all of it is like not regular social interaction.
Right.
And I think that the reason there's such a push in this direction is because there's no like common areas where people meet each other. Gen Z doesn't even really drink alcohol, so it's not like they're going to go to bars and pick each other up.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to sexually harass each other at work anymore, so nobody's going to meet somebody at work. People are not going to college, and so they're not hooking up at college.
Right.
There's all these things that are like, how are people going to get together? And it's like on reality shows? Question mark. Via conjugal visits when one of them's in prison. Like, it just feels like they almost need this weird separation and then commit immediately to the end goal because they don't know how to do the middle part.
Yeah, they don't know how to do the middle part, and there's something with this like having real maybe intimacy that is lacking with this kind of.
It's all the social stuff in between.
Yes.
It's like, what is dating? It's just socializing.
Yes, it is.
And that's what was fun about dating is socializing.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if it's partially like on social media, it's sometimes, I wonder if some people just feel it's easier to connect with someone because you're not face to face. You can kind of think more clearly about what exactly you want to say.
Yes.
And so
it's too polished. It's not human.
Yes.
And I just heard this other thing that we always underestimate how good person-to-person social interactions were.
Yeah.
So if you go to a party, you hang out with people, you hang out with a new friend one-on-one, and then you go home, if you were asked to like rank it, you would rank it lower than it actually was good for your body and even lower than you felt about it.
Wow.
Because you're stressed about something that you said or there was a weird interaction or somebody, like whatever.
Sure.
But it's so much more enriching to your body and to your mind and all of these different things than we think it is. And we always uprate social interactions because it gives you dopamine rush,
right?
And somebody liked your thing and there's no like extra questions and stuff.
So crazy.
And so we think these social interactions are so good because they're easier and it gives you a dopamine rush.
Yeah.
But it's actually so good for you to interact with another person in the same room.
Oh, totally. I mean, even just now how we're interacting, you know?
I know. I feel my cup is full. I'm also an extrovert. And so I know that introverts hear me talking about stuff like this and they're like, that's my nightmare.
Yeah.
But it's even good for them.
I think so. I believe it. Look,
take your medicine. Let me talk to you.
Yeah, exactly. I believe it though, because look, who hasn't been like, oh, I don't really feel like going to this thing. I'm lazy. It's easier to stay at home and be comfy. But then you go and you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad I went. Like, I've never had a situation where I'm like, I wish I hadn't gone. I'm like, oh, I should go out more often.
And then you say no to one thing too, you cancel your whole week. Like, I know if I allow myself to not go to something, I'm in forever.
Oh yeah,
I'm never going back out.
Yeah, it's a domino effect.
Yeah, it's like a fear thing too. Like, I think once you start going out, like, we're so lucky we've always done stand-up. And so there's always a reason that we got to go out. We got to chat with people. We're talking to a lot of people. And then you're socializing with comics after too. Like, there's just like, there's so many levels of social interaction built into what we do.
Yes.
Whereas so many people now, especially even performers, like so many people now only perform on their YouTube channel or content creators. And it's just front facing camera stuff. Like, there's really not enough. I sound like such a boomer.
No.
But it's like, there's really not enough person to person
No,
stuff.
I agree. I think it's definitely lacking and it makes me a little sad for
It makes
Gen
me sad
Z.
too, but there's got to be a way they figure out how to be in the room together.
How could we do we throw a mixer or something?
I would love to throw a mixer. I would love to throw a mixer.
Like an old school 90s style mixer.
That is so cute. Boys and girls opposite sides of the room.
Yes, totally. We could get a DJ. We could play Riding Dirty.
Oh my God. That's genius.
It would bring people together.
I grinded on some 12-year-old dicks as a 12-year-old. To imagine. Yeah, but
I grinded on, I wasn't 12 at the time. I was early 20s, but in the clubs in Hollywood, Riding Dirty
nasty.
came on.
Get nasty. Nelly too. Hot in here.
Oh, hot in here. Get out of here.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, Gypsy, I did read also though, is now living with her parents, bringing it all back together. So I'm so glad you brought up.
Yes.
What you brought up is tied to many themes in what we're talking about today, but she's living with her parents down in the bayou is what she said.
I saw that quote too.
Right.
Like,
Which I'm like, first of all, I was like, living with her parents. We know what happened last time she was living with the parents.
What did she mean, parents? I thought she
did. That's what I thought too. But I'm like, the dad must be remarried or something.
Okay.
But
she's propped the mama. She's stuffed the mama.
It's like taxidermy mom.
She's like, I'm living with my mom. I miss her. And we're like, okay,
like, girl, get it together.
I mean, I know. We found out that it's like Munchausen by proxy.
Yeah.
But is there anything else wrong with her, or is it just all of that psychological?
The mom. Or
I mean, Gypsy Rose. Like, is she diagnosed with anything else that we know?
I don't know. I haven't really read. It's such a touchy subject because it's like she had her mom killed, but she was abused and tried to get away. So you know what I mean? But like, I don't know if she's actually been diagnosed. I do know that her parole officer, did you see this?
No.
A couple months ago.
No.
I love that you lit up when I said parole officer.
I love crime. That's another thing. Gen Z's not committing enough crimes. They're not stealing. They're not doing illegal drugs. It's bumming me out.
I used to steal. I used to shoplift.
Women are allowed to steal. I've always said that.
Okay, great. Perfect. Yeah. Winona really set the stage.
Inspiring.
For us. Yeah,
it's absolutely inspiring.
So what was I talking about? Oh, Gypsy,
the parole officer.
Basically, like a month or two ago, and this is when I knew that there was some trouble in Paradise. Okay,
Paradise, she's in jail. I know. She killed her mom. She's in jail, and you're like, actually, not all that she's caught up to be. So, there may be something wrong with Gypsy. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Breaking the hot goss. So basically, she, her parole officer, she had to get off social media. She suddenly closed all her social media accounts because, she got out of jail and like had millions of followers, was doing all this press, like was stepping into her stardom.
Yes.
And suddenly her parole officer was like, basically she said, I got off social media because my parole officer said that he was afraid I was going to get into trouble again. And allegedly she was trying to get one of her social media friends in contact with the guy in jail who she had kill her mom, who part of her parole is like never speaking to him again. Yeah. Isn't that juicy?
Messy.
I know.
Messy.
And then now here we are, they're separated. She and her husband.
I mean, maybe she got in contact.
Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe he was just mad that she was like going behind his back, or I don't know. Or maybe she's just not over this.
I wonder if we could get her on MySpace, and that could be a real MySpace rejuvenation.
You know what? The thing about MySpace was like you didn't really post that much from what other people posted on your wall. But did you know about the top 8?
No.
Oh my God. This was the best part of MySpace.
Oh, tell me.
You could pick your top 8 friends and it went on your page. So like.
Is public?
Public. So everyone knew your top 8 friends.
That's so messy.
Messy, right?
Ooh,
yeah.
Relationships ended.
No, totally. Like I knew it was over with the guy that I.
When he took you off his top 8?
When I was no longer in his top 8. What a horrible way to find out.
Oh my God. I think that should come back.
Right?
I think top 8. Top 5. Make it top 5 Instagram. Instagram wants to watch the world burn. Make it top 5.
Why are they not doing these kinds of cutthroat tactics?
What a disaster that would be.
Right?
Because I know my mom would be up my ass. Mom's got to be number 1.
Oh, yeah. Are you close with your mom?
Yes, my mom and I are super
cool
close.
Mom.
Yeah, are you close with your mom?
Yeah, I'm really close.
Are your parents together?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, yeah, mine are not together. Many would argue they were never together, but they were at some point. Clearly.
Yeah. Well, at some point, clearly.
But yeah, I'm here. But that's totally also one thing is that because I never really knew my parents together.
Right.
I have whenever people said like, oh, somebody's from a broken home, I never felt like I was from a broken home because I'd never experienced the home of everybody together.
Right.
And so I don't feel like I have any kind of beef. I feel like it would be awkward if they were together.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I mean, if it's all you've ever known, like.
Exactly. Yeah. And are your parents in love?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, they've had their ups and downs,
Sure. Marriage.
Sure,
Do you have siblings?
No, I'm an only child.
I'm an only child.
You are? Yes. You don't. Do people give you this a lot? Because a lot of people will tell me you don't seem like.
I did not think. I think that I thought you had a sister because you're fashionable.
Thank you so much.
But it does make sense because you're not mean.
You're not mean either, though.
Only children.
I think only children get a bad rap.
People that have sisters are mean.
Yes.
Because their sisters were mean to them.
Exactly.
And so, you know.
Or they have like weird resentments towards their younger sisters, I see.
I think only children are absolutely underrated because we're not competitive.
Exactly.
Because we never had to compete for love.
Exactly.
And if your parents didn't smother you with attention, that's the thing that only children is like the problem, is if they got too much attention.
Right.
My parents barely looked at me. And so I think if you're only child and your parents don't really notice that you're there, you're fine.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, look, my parents worked a lot.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. And now I'm well adjusted.
Yes.
I get along well with adults.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
I mean, that's the big thing with only children.
That's the other reason you have a mature vibe, I think.
Yes, and well, we lived with my grandma a lot too.
Oh, okay.
And so it's me, my mom, my grandma, and
Cute.
their friends around.
Oh, good.
And so I always felt like one of the gals.
Yeah, you were.
Yes, tearing it up.
Yes, tearing it up.
Talking shit about people's husbands, leaving them for somebody younger. I'm like 6. I'm like, what a piece of shit. That's
Fuck
girlhood.
that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Oh, what a fun childhood.
I know, it was fun.
Cute.
I would live with my grandma again. Like I really have no judgment of anybody that lives. I would live with my mom. I would live with my grandma.
They're the best.
I want to hear the tea. I want to hear what everybody's doing.
I know. Now my mom gives me like the neighborhood tea, and I'm like,
I love when they get to that age where they know the neighborhood tea.
It's so good.
Because it's like, when are you talking to the neighbors?
I
Ethan?
know.
When do you find the time to talk to them?
I know. She has dogs that she walks. So
my mom's dogs too.
That if you have dogs, you're in on
It's
all
nosy.
the tea.
It's nosy to have a dog.
It is nosy. Yeah.
Why are you trying to walk around the neighborhood so much?
Exactly.
Talk to people, look around.
Yeah, your
Nosy.
dog's not the only one sniffing around. Okay, so next kind of Gen Z topic, Euphoria.
Yes.
Are you a fan? Do you watch?
Yes, I watched.
Okay,
I mean,
great.
how many seasons are there? I would definitely watch the 2 seasons that are out.
Same. It's hard to remember because it's like they can't come out so far apart, and then now we've had so much time since the last one.
Yeah, it's hard to remember, but also, is there that much substance? Not sure.
No, there's a lot of tits and a lot of darkness.
Yes. What else do you need?
I don't need anything more.
A fun romp alone.
Exactly.
I watch it. My boyfriend very intentionally does not watch it with me.
Same with my boyfriend.
And I think that's so respectful.
Yeah.
I think that's one of my turn-ons is that my boyfriend won't watch Euphoria with me.
That's so hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hot. You got a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Yeah, no, he refuses. But we've been like wondering when is this 3rd season going to come out, because also obviously like Zendaya, she was already a pretty big star. She's blown up, won Emmys, like the world is her oyster now. But also Sydney Sweeney and Jacob Elordi, who kind of got their big break on
it's the new
Euphoria.
What was that show that like Ryan Gosling and Britney Spears and Christina
the Mickey
Aguilera?
Mouse Club?
It's the new Euphoria is the new Mickey Mouse Club. It started all these young stars, but now they need to be showing whole to blow up. Whereas sweet little Ryan Gosling was just doing a little tap dance. Times have changed.
The funniest comparison I've ever fucking heard.
What else would it be? What other show has launched so many stars?
It has launched so many young hot stars.
Yes.
So, but okay, so Jacob and Sydney are like full blown. They're also movie stars now. So everyone's like, are they going to be able to do a 3rd season? They keep doing all these movies. And then, us Euphoria heads have been kind of waiting for an update. And just like in the past,
we're trying to see the naked teens.
I know.
Where they at?
Where are these titties?
I know. We've been waiting for years.
I've been waiting so
How
long.
creepy are we that we're like, where are these naked teens?
I know.
We're watching the news. Why are we following the news to find out when we'll see them again?
That's exactly
terrible.
I feel so weird watching it because I'm like, obviously we know they're all the actors are over 18.
I didn't know that. I was still tuning in.
She was grinding on 12-year-olds.
I mean, if they look like Jacob Elordi, I'm like,
come on.
Wow, you're so mature for your age,
so
Jacob.
Hot. I'm like, he is.
I mean, Saltburn, give me a break.
I saw it 2 times opening weekend, and I saw it before. Like I saw it opening weekend, so I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know all the like.
We should watch it again.
We should.
Cue
it up right now.
Let's just watch it. Like, what are we doing?
But so I saw an update saying that I want to read this because it was so funny. HBO execs have felt unsatisfied with Sam Levinson's revised scripts for Euphoria season 3. They, quote, immediately vetoed his idea for Zendaya's Rue to work as a private detective in season 3.
I mean,
like,
I mean,
What?
I mean, what? Number one. Number two, what? Like,
What?
but the thing is, what for so many different reasons. Number one, like, why is that her path? It feels kind of out of nowhere, but fine.
Yeah.
That you're the writer, you're the creator, you created this thing. Maybe we'll have a little bit of thing. Why would they veto it immediately?
Well, I think it was going to see her relegated to a smaller role.
Oh, because of scheduling?
I don't think so. I think she's all in on Euphoria. That's why I respect her so much, because she's very much from what I've read on my trusted source, Dumois, she's all in on, like, even though she has this massive career and doesn't need it, she knows that's kind of what really took her career to the next level.
Is that what it is for all of them? Are they all just loyal to the show that made them pop off, or are they just contractually obligated to stay with the show? Because it feels crazy that they got all of them.
Yeah.
On loyalty.
Yeah.
That's like, do we know that about young stars that are loyal to the thing that pops them off? Probably not.
Probably not. I mean, look at Bridgerton. What's his name? I
don't know about this.
I'm going to butcher his name. Reggie John, the main guy, the hot guy.
From season one?
He left because he was like, I got all these movie opportunities, basically.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
it's like,
exactly.
It's like, why would they stick around for a show that I've heard the creator's toxic? Everyone has all these issues with the guy. Like,
well,
it's got it. They've got it. Just,
bad.
I mean, I snorted it up. I love the Idol.
Oh my God.
Everybody's like, oh, it's porn. It's porn. It's like, oh, I can't watch porn anymore either.
I love that. Like, I'm into that. I just thought, look, after I watched the first like 2 or 3 episodes, and then I just kind of fell off and couldn't get back on. But it
was bad, but I watched all of it.
I still kind of want to go back. Is it worth going back?
It's just like a sexy little show. I'm trying to think of like, it's truly just, if you think of it just as a sexy little show, then you're fine. It's
okay, good.
People would love to be, tear apart the writing and stuff. It's like, yeah, the writing of porn is bad.
Yeah.
Like it just is porn. I don't see how that's, oh no, it didn't get a good critics rate. Like, it's not for critics, it's for people that are watching porn.
I honestly thought that I was like, what's wrong with me? Because everyone was like, it's so shocking. People who saw,
if you're shocked by the Idol, you've had a very sheltered
that's
life.
how I
in my
felt.
opinion.
I was like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong with me? This is nothing. This is like a walk. This is the Mickey Mouse Club.
The thing is, we're both comics too, and we're both comics from a time where people were saying probably absolutely outrageous stuff to us, and that we were kind of like, well, this is what it takes to be part of the comics crew. And so obviously now we know we're allowed to have boundaries, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I think that we have that's something I've really had to sit with myself, that I have a very different barometer of what is and is not appropriate. And ADHD too is like, no filter and blah, blah, blah. None. And so I think that's fine if other people are scandalized by stuff. I just also think that, like, if you're watching a show and that's really scandalizing you, how are you getting through life?
Right. Life's pretty scandalous.
Life's pretty difficult.
Yeah, it is. I just honestly, so I guess for this new season, they're jumping ahead 5 years, which thank God, because
I mean, we also have jumped ahead 5 years, so that makes
I know.
sense.
And also they were already like mid-20s, it's like we're getting to the like Beverly Hills 90210, the original, where like Andrea was like 40 in high school.
Exactly. I feel like they could also do that and be like, now they're all in middle school with same actors. And then we just have to be like, fine.
Yeah, fine. But I mean, look, some people are kind of losing hope that it's even gonna happen, to be honest.
I mean, it sounds like whoever the legal team is has it pretty locked down.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think it'll happen.
I hope so. Who's your favorite character?
Well, I like to look at Sydney Sweeney.
Yes, of course.
Whenever I get my hair done, I'm showing pictures of her. Like,
there's a Sydney Sweeney.
I got boobies.
Vibe.
I'm blonde. Yeah. Got the boobies. I got the blonde. The last podcast I did the Guys We Fucked podcast.
Oh, nice.
They said, oh, you got those big Sydney Sweeneys. And I was like, yeah.
You do.
Yeah. But I like Zendaya's, I like Rue the most, but she's the main character, right?
Yeah.
I like Hunter. What's the
Hunter Schafer?
Yeah, I like her. I think she's
great.
like so fashion too.
She's so beautiful.
Like
too.
really creating interesting fashion looks.
I agree.
I think on the red carpet.
Yeah.
And is she dating that guy from New Girl, or is that just one picture I saw?
Oh, I don't know actually.
The guy with kind of a big head.
Oh, I don't know.
Do you know who I mean? I didn't watch New Girl. He's the guy that looks the most Jewish. I'm Jewish, but he's the Jewiest one.
Oh, I didn't really watch New Girl.
Me neither.
I just know they have a lot of bangs.
It's just, this is the thing. We've got taste. We don't watch New Girl.
We don't watch
no offense to the New Girl
the Idol,
community.
not New Girl.
I know, it's called being cultured.
Yeah, exactly. So So yeah, no, I look, I think Maddie is probably my favorite character.
Oh my God, she's so cool.
Such a bad
of course,
bitch.
the Latina one.
Yes, I know. I'm like, I feel seen. Any brunette on screen, I'm like, that's me.
No, she's the coolest one. I think she's the prettiest one, dare I say.
Gorgeous. Yeah,
really cool outfits. Just really like a confidence that comes through the screen.
Yes, I totally agree. And I just love her. But also Sydney. I mean, those tits, you can't
look away. And one thing that I found really inspiring in her tits,
yes,
was that they showed her areolas quite in clearly a hot temperate environment.
Yes,
not as perky as one with big natural boobs would probably want a little bit of air conditioning just to tighten everybody up.
No, they
like
were
balls. Like, you know, when you want it just a bit tighter, you make it cooler.
Yeah.
Clearly, there was no fans in that room.
No.
Season 1, I love to see that. I'm like, this. That's honestly, obviously, she's got like an amazing body.
Yeah.
But it's still nice because I feel like you never even see that in porn.
Yeah.
It's nice to just sneak in a little bit of.
It looks real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like authentic to what tits look. You know, like they're not all just like hard nipples.
It's so cool that if you actually have an incredibly perfect body and face and hair, that you can be human once in a while. But
exactly.
Those are the stewards that we need. We need the models to be the ones to come forward.
We do.
To make it normalized.
We do. We need them to come forward topless in hot rooms.
Yes. For feminism.
Yes, exactly. No, I totally agree. I was like, hell yeah. Because they didn't, they were just very like how they would look in that moment.
Yes, I was pleased.
Yeah, I was very pleased with the tits.
I've also been recently open to the idea of reading like a sexy book.
Yeah.
Do you read ever smut?
No, you know what? I love a sexy story now and then. I had a sponsor for a minute that it was audio stories, sexy stories, and it was really, I forget the name. It's been a minute since.
I mean, they don't sponsor you anymore. You don't need to know the name.
So, sorry, I don't know the name, but they were like sexy stories, and you could pick like, if you're into like British guys, you could have like a British character. Like they were like
kind of build your own.
Yes, it was almost like it was like acted out. It was like audio sexy theater.
Oh,
you know?
That is so nice. The reason I was drawn to the book was I haven't picked one yet. I haven't read one yet, but please. I just recently became interested in the idea of that. Is because I fear that with either video porn or audiobook, there's like something that the male actor will do that will give me the ick, and then I'm just out of it. Whereas if it's a book, there's a way for me to play it that I think that's why women are drawn to sexy books, because it's like you can create so many different things that will not ick you out.
And I think we're more like in our head, like
it's more inside and creating and using imagination, whereas guys are just like visual. Visual. Yeah, that's actually a thing in horror movies, like the women-based horror movies. The reason that like a Carrie, for example, like all of women's scary powers always come from within.
Sure.
Because the thing that men are scared of us is that we're so inward and they're so outward.
Oh.
And so that's why when you watch scary movies, it's always like the female powers are always something that comes from inside, as opposed to like her becoming a monster or something.
Wow. Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and I'm butchering the full reasoning for it, but there's a really interesting essay on that somewhere.
That's cool. Are you sure you dropped out of college? You're so smart. You know so much.
I dropped out of fashion school. It's barely even college, many would say.
I love it.
Well, when you're stand-up, like literally you have all day just to get into whatever hole.
Yes, totally. I know. Yeah, I mean, normally it's just me like shopping on Skims and buying stuff I don't
That's
need.
90% of the day, and then once in a while you find an article, and then you're like,
oh my God,
well, I'm going to repeat this on a podcast.
That's so good.
Speaking of Skims, what are your thoughts on the nipple bra?
The nipple bra I didn't get into. Now
I bought it.
You did?
I bought it.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Okay, so I love Skims. I'm obsessed with Skims.
Yes.
I will like.
I'm ride or die for Skims too.
Me
I love
too.
Skims,
I mean, literally, like, hello, Skims.
I have the
right
same
now,
triangle.
Cotton triangle.
Yep, I have
so
the same
good.
one.
I am normally wearing Skims head to toe. I just got the bridal collection. I'm not a bride, but she just dropped the bridal collection.
With the Call Her Daddy girl.
Yes.
I saw those pictures. Looks amazing.
I have my birthday's next week, and I was like, I have to wear something over the top. So I ordered a corset.
Love it.
I ordered the fucking romper with the lace shorts.
Looks so good. I saw that
right?
too. It looks amazing.
So I wear the cat suits. Like I have
Love
pants.
that.
I wear like my whole wardrobe is normally Skims.
No, they absolutely nailed Skims. Like when it first came out, everybody was like, "Oh, it's just basics." It's not just basics. It's the basic. It's you go to that for any item you need.
Yes.
Lasts so long.
So good.
So comfortable. Looks good. What could be wrong with that?
Makes you look so snatched.
Yes.
And it's the bodysuits are just amazing. But tell me about the nipple bra, because I did not venture into the nipple bra.
So I have the push-up bra.
Okay.
And it creates just a lovely shape. Right now I just have like a Victoria's Secret one on, which is just like round. It just gives you like a round boobs. But the Skims one is like looks like an actual boob shape.
Yes.
Which is so nice. And then it's just that bra with the nipples.
Wow.
And so when I saw that, I was like, let's go for it.
Yes.
I put it on, and to be honest with you, not to do a flex, it does kind of look like my nipples anyway. It's just like they're only like that when it's cold.
Yes.
And so it's nice to have it and just like know where they're at.
Yes.
They're stapled down, like they're not going to be changing.
Yes, I love that.
Yes.
It's a very sexy bra.
Yeah.
I mean, Skims is my favorite bras. There's this amazing one that's a little bit more, has like it's more structured than like the cotton one.
Yeah.
And it just, because I have like kind of smaller boobs, but
You have great boobs.
Thank you so much. I love them. They're perky. They're great, but they're not, I mean, it's not the Sydney Sweeneys.
They're not perky.
They're not.
You gotta pick and choose. You can have them perky or you can have them Sydney Sweeney. They look down.
They're
sad.
Hilarious.
Unless it's cold, then they look a little bit more up.
I love, but everyone who doesn't look a little more up when they're cold,
So true. So true.
But this one I love. It's like, it looks so good under even the really tight bodysuits. There's no underwire somehow, but it's still structured. It's magic.
Underwire is a disaster.
It's so bad.
Underwire makes no sense.
It shows under everything.
It shows under everything. It's not comfortable. Digs into your ribs. It's the thing that gives you kind of back fat because it's like pushing stuff in weird places.
Totally.
No, I don't think the bras need underwires.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. And after Kim made this, I forget what it's called. I think it's like the t-shirt demi
fits everyone or something.
Yeah, but it's so good, and it makes my tits look amazing.
Frankly, great brand.
Great brand. No notes.
I'm sure they're using child labor or something, but that's none of my business.
There is a child making my lace shorts for my bodysuit right now,
and they're like, I hope she's a bride at least, and you're like, nope, it's just my birthday.
Oh my God. I'm having so much fun with you.
You're so fun. This is such a good time.
No, this is such a blast. Okay, so we talked Euphoria, Gypsy Rose.
Ariana Grande.
Yes, okay. I'm glad you brought her up because I love Ariana. I'm always happy to talk about her.
I would have bet $1 million that you loved Ariana Grande.
I love it. Yeah, I just have the vibe.
A little Latina Italian girl,
yes,
please.
I love it.
That's you.
Wait, so are you a fan? Are you an Ari?
Yes, I love Ari.
Arianator?
Oh, is that what the name is?
That's what we're called. That's what we're officially called.
That's a bit clunky, but I feel like we could do better. That's okay. We could workshop whatever we'll workshop the group is. That can't be what it's.
It's the Arianators.
That's a disaster.
Isn't that bad?
She did not think of that.
No, she didn't. It sounds like they're going to war. You know what I mean?
It really does, and that's not her vibe at all. She's so like not a warrior.
No, she's not. It's much more combative than her vibe is.
Yeah,
I think.
interesting.
Yeah.
So I love her. I love her music. She's one of my favorite pop stars. I think that she puts out really good songs, and I like following her romantic dating stuff. I honestly don't really like following Taylor Swift's romantic dating stuff. To me, it feels very weird and toxic for some reason. Ariana Grande, I know people think she's toxic. I like her.
Yeah.
I like her energy.
Yeah.
I like her tragic history.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels like someone that I really feel for her. And I feel like she's kind of phony sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, she's definitely really concerned about how she's portrayed.
Sure.
There was all those rumors when she first kind of blew up that she was only allowed to be filmed on one side of her face, and that she would like look at each shot afterwards and make them delete it, and was kind of. But all of that is because it's hard to be in the public eye. And you're a young woman. Like, I just feel like all of the things that are negative about her, I don't hold against her.
Yeah. I agree, and I love her. And that album, look, there were a lot of rumors with this,
hideous.
Yeah.
He's the ugliest.
He's not a looker.
Are you joking?
He's not a looker.
Are you joking?
Like, what are we doing? He
Ari,
must have Riz up the asshole.
I don't even think that he does. I have a theory about why they're together.
I'm so curious. What's your theory?
So, ugly. Ugly. But everybody wants someone, even people that are not chasers like us, you still want someone that's not fully into you.
Right.
And I feel like at this point in Ariana Grande's life, she is not meeting anybody that's not immediately 100% in on her, except for a genuinely, sincerely, happily married man.
Right.
I feel like that is the final frontier of someone that can play for even a second hard to get with her.
Right. Absolutely.
Is someone that truly loves his wife and child.
Right.
And so that's why everyone was so horrified. They're like, oh, she ruined this beautiful whatever.
Right.
But it's like, maybe.
Yeah.
But also maybe they were kind of in a weird place.
Yeah.
And then he did want to be with his wife, but
it's Ariana Grande.
It's Ariana Grande. And so she's going to get him either way, but that's the only one where there's a little bit of roadblock for her.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I've talked about, look, when that all first broke, do you know Caroline Goldfarb? She's a very funny writer. She's good friends with Esther. She wrote on Esther's shows and stuff.
I don't, but
she's a favorite.
I'd love to know her.
She's amazing. You would love her. You guys would get along fabulously. But she and I talked quite a bit about it and about how, a lot of people were like, she has a pattern of going for guys with girlfriends. And I think there's something to it that, like, if everyone's always saying yes to you, nothing's fun. Like,
you need some friction.
You need a little bit of a challenge.
You need something that's holding you apart, like a beautiful wife and baby.
Exactly.
But I'm pretty sure she still has her Instagram comments like restricted, like only to people she follows.
Interesting.
Like she was really getting, like, people were really coming for her for a long time.
Well, it's funny because after her new album came out, it's like it was so good. I like forgot all the rumors and everything. I was like, I'm just what?
She's such a good album.
Yeah, she's
dare I say her best.
I think it's one of her best. I still like Thank You Next like a hair more.
Really?
But I love Thank You Next.
I think I maybe overdid it.
That makes sense.
I think I overdid it, but that's a great song.
It's so good. The whole album though is so good.
Yeah, so good.
Oh my God. And now also on that, a lot of people were like, oh, break up with your girlfriend. I'm bored.
I mean, that's funny. That's a good line.
It's funny.
That's a good line.
She's funny. She's trolling a little bit. She's giving us just a little bit of the tea. I love it.
It's really, she keeps you. She's like, she could get us to leave our beautiful wives and children.
Yes, absolutely.
Like all this push and pull, like that's Riz. That's what
that
Riz
is. Riz.
Yes.
I would leave my boyfriend in a second if she looked at me.
If she even accidentally looked at me.
Yes, absolutely. If it was like she immediately broke eye contact because she didn't mean to look at me, I would be like, bye, Mitch.
See you never.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you next.
Thank you next.
Yeah. No, I've been listening to the new album over and over again and nothing but bops.
So good. It's from front to back, like no skips. Amazing. What are some of your favorite songs?
I've actually listened to the full thing in entirety. So, I mean, the one where I'm not good with names.
Yeah, that's okay.
I really like the one where it's like, I think it's called Supernatural.
Yes, Supernatural.
And what I really like is all of them are love songs, except for that one where she has a really sad music video.
Yeah.
Do you know the one I mean?
The one with Evan Peters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I love every single song.
Yeah, it's good.
I've literally been listening to the whole album on repeat.
It's so good and it's so short. It's only, what I love, all our albums are like 38 minutes. Like in, out, we're done. We
Comedians
get the whole story.
Take notes.
Yeah,
Not every album needs to be an hour.
Well, also, and I love Beyonce. She's one of my
I'm a fan. I'm
favorites.
Beehive, much better.
So much catchier,
yeah.
Right? Her album, the country album, came out this week, and it's an hour and 18 minutes long.
Didn't it come out today?
It came out last night at 9 p.m.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, so today.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I've had time. You're right. I should have listened to it by now.
You didn't listen to the whole thing.
I mean, Texas Hold, like the single was amazing.
Is so good.
Also, I want to flag Lorde has a new single. So good.
Oh, really?
Yes, I love Lorde though. I'm a Lorde girl.
I need to get more into Lorde.
Lorde is great. I think that she got kind of slotted into like sad girl Lana Del Rey music. She's not that.
But I love sad girl Lana Del Rey.
I've never been I like Lana Del Rey's pop, like her poppy hits. I'm not
sad girl.
I can't do the sad girl stuff.
I love it, and just get stoned and get a little
sad.
You know?
I think I'm happy to listen to slow music.
Yeah.
But I think because I'm depressive leaning, I don't want to do sad music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't have anxiety. I have only depression.
Oh, see, I'm more anxiety.
Yeah,
girl,
that's
so it's more
you're
like,
trying to mellow out.
Yeah. It's like taking a Xanax. Just pop some Lana Del Rey on,
Yeah, I mean, I do think that the great divide is do you lean depressive or anxious?
Absolutely. Okay, wait, but there is, just so you know, because also when I was like, oh, let's talk about the new Beyonce album, I was like, it's an hour and 18 minutes long. I was like, if I could barely get through it. I was listening to it all morning, but there are a number of great songs. I was a little concerned because I'm not a big country girl. I don't love country, but it's not super country. There are a few country.
I mean, she's Beyonce, so it's Beyonce.
It's Beyonce.
Yeah.
It's its own thing. But a bunch of like some of the songs, one song, it's called Spaghetti. It sounds like it could be on any Bey album, you know, I love it. But then she does a cover of Jolene.
I heard a clip from it. People were not loving it, it
People
seems.
don't love it. I like it.
I had no problem with it. Like, I do love the original song Jolene. It's always hard to do a cover of something everyone loves.
Yes. So do you know why people were not loving it?
No, the lyrics?
She changed the lyrics a little bit.
I saw they changed, but what? Tell me, show me.
So basically, she so in the original version, you know, Dolly Parton pleads with a rival not to steal her man. However, in Beyonce's version, she puts her own spin on the song, warning her adversary and affirming the strength of her relationship. So basically, she's like, bitch, don't try and steal my man. I'm on to you. I got him. Like, it's a very empowering version of Jolene.
People don't like that.
I don't think so, and I don't know why. I'm like,
well, I think that I think I understand. I'm sure I'll like the song.
Yeah.
But I think the reason is because Jolene is like, it's not the politically correct is the wrong term, but it's like, it's not the correct feeling you're supposed to have. Like, the song that when she sings Jolene, it's really vulnerable, and it's really something that none of us would ever want to have to say out loud.
Sure.
And that's what is raw about it. That's what feels so good. It's kind of closer to like a Olivia Rodrigo, who's really open about kind of the embarrassing parts of liking somebody. And so to make Jolene into something like more powerful is classic Beyonce. Love to hear it. It's a completely different song and feeling. So I get that because it's like, that's what you're supposed to say.
Right, absolutely. And I guess also Jolene is such an iconic song. It's like timeless, you know, so people get protective over it. That being said, I love the new one because it kind of does harken back to the Becky with the good hair moment on whatever, Lemonade, you know? So it's kind of, again, giving us just a little bit of that tea that I love in my pop music.
I mean, one little devil's advocate thing, which I hate devil's advocate. I'm not a male comedian, but sometimes you have to, is, oh, you have this empowering "We're Good" song, but you did get cheated on.
That was one thing that I thought on the way over here. Yeah. I was like, okay, I love this. Like, but
it sounds like you're super solid now.
Yes, now, you know, I'm curious for you to listen to it because she really is like, he's my man. I know him better than he does. And I'm like, but Becky with the good hair did get in there, you know?
Well, one thing I do fear is that country as a genre is quite limited, and there are only kind of a certain number of things you're allowed to be saying with a country song.
Right.
And I think that Me and My Guy Are Good is kind of a version of one of them. And it's like, you don't hear that a lot in country. I'm not a big country guy, so this might be completely wrong. But I think that it's like, it's kind of a way to nod to the country fans or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Which I don't know if people that are listening to this are country fans or if it's Beyonce people that are just going over.
I think it's Beyonce people. I think
so
the country fans are a little protective of their genre and are like, what's going on?
I saw a couple weird, I mean, the Tucker Carlsons of the world are always going to make weird comments of stuff that has nothing to do with them. What are we doing? Making comments about something that has nothing to do with us, so that's fine. But like, I definitely saw them talking about it in a weird way.
Yeah, no, some people they aren't having it, you know? Well, also probably because I'm sure they're probably like, oh, no one liked country until now Beyonce does it and everyone loves it now, so maybe it's something like that.
Be grateful for the traffic.
Be grateful that the queen has blessed your genre with her brilliance.
Exactly. How could it hurt you? How could it hurt you at all?
Exactly. Okay, well, moving on. One more story, and then I have just a couple questions, and then we'll wrap up. The biggest story this week. Diddy's homes all got raided.
Yeah. So I was like, to be honest, I was kind of cramming before this podcast because I had not been up to date.
You're so sweet. You never have to cram for this podcast.
Happy to cram. I never get an assignment.
Yeah.
So
okay, great. You dropped out.
Yeah.
Fashion school. Yeah. Okay, great. No. So I just look. You're a little younger than me, and
I know Puff Daddy.
You know Puff Daddy. Oh, okay. I was gonna ask. One thing I was gonna ask is,
who is P Diddy to you?
Yes, who is he?
Like who's your James Bond? Who's your P Diddy?
Exactly. Like to me, I was introduced to him as Puff Daddy, Sean Puffy Combs, and then he's gone through all these other iterations. P Diddy.
Red flag. Also, it's like pick a name.
Pick a name. Like I'm sorry, Madonna reinvents herself, Beyonce, but they keep the name.
Yeah.
So how?
Like, just change your hair.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to change your name.
Babe, change your hair.
Yeah.
How did you come to meet Diddy? Was it Diddy?
I think it was Puff Daddy.
Okay.
I mean, it was definitely just songs that at school dances that
that you were grinding.
Absolutely. But I was more of a fitty guy.
Oh, I was a fitty.
I was a fitty guy. I still come on stage to PIMP. That's my chosen song.
Really?
Yeah.
When I flipped my car, I was listening to, no joke, I was listening to Get Rich or Die Trying.
When I flipped my car.
I'm so excited. I've never related to anyone so much.
That's so funny.
But
when you flipped your car?
It was still playing. 50 was still playing.
He kept you safe.
He was my angel.
He's your guardian angel.
He is my guardian angel.
That's hilarious.
Isn't that funny?
He got shot 35 times in the face and didn't die.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh my God, he's like he's paying it forward.
That's hilarious.
I know.
He's funny.
He's just funny.
I think he's funny.
Well, and he's been talking shit about Diddy this whole time.
I love him.
I love him so much. Okay. Now, obviously, as of this recording, Diddy has not been like arrested for anything, but he's been accused of some pretty heinous things. Mm-hmm. A ton of celebrities have been named in this. Yep. Cuba Gooding Jr. There were some redacted names that a lot of people are assuming allegedly are Usher and Meek Mill. There have been wild fucking memes and just like full-on fake things floating around the internet. So I've really been trying to like do my due diligence to find out what's real. But what I thought was so funny was that they showed a picture of one of the feds that raided Diddy's home. Yeah. And he is so hot. Aaron, I mean, look at this man.
Wow.
Like, what do I have to do to have him raid my home?
I mean, sounds like maybe some of the stuff that P. Diddy did is what you'd have to do. From what I've gathered from the story. Not sure how many years you have to get this guy over to your house.
I mean, he's so hot.
The thing is, he's so hot in the way that's like very, like you can tell he's Republican. Yeah. And you know what? That's fine. Like, we're both wifed up. We're not trying to do anything.
Yeah, no.
And honestly, this is tying all back to the very beginning, that how the men and women are going on different directions.
Exactly.
You can disagree on politics and still get together. Look how hot this guy is. He's not going to agree with you on a lot of things.
Yeah.
You make that work.
We'll make it work.
We can avoid some topics at home.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
I know. It was so funny because that picture was posted and the first thing I thought was like, that guy's hot. And then I looked at the comments and everyone was
like, that guy's hot
over him.
It's always so funny who girls pick. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, because some of them make sense. That guy's just like hot. Everyone thirsting over Jacob Elordi, kind of classically hot. And then there was, remember that gorilla everyone thought was hot? Like,
oh my God.
I feel like girls all have, because we all had that like an animal Disney character we were horny for. I had Robin Hood.
Oh, Robin Hood.
Teenage Simba.
Yes.
Like, I think the girls are love to pick somebody as hot who they will never have to date or go out with or anything.
Yeah. Oh,
because it's like, that's part of it. The fact that the pressure's off.
Yes, the pressure is
like
off.
If you're dating and you like meet a guy and you're like, you're so hot, you would never say that, because then there's like, then you're supposed to hook up with them or something.
1,000,000%. Yeah. You can really, you have more freedom.
It's so fun to thirst over a animal.
Yeah.
Because it's safe. They're not going to call you.
It is. It's so, I mean, they're definitely not going to call. Well, I wanted to, like, okay, look, he's been accused of some pretty heinous things, right?
And there's been rumors about him forever too. Like, he's one of those like open secret guys.
Yes, and I had heard some things from a makeup artist years ago about how he was abusive towards Cassie,
also,
allegedly.
Who could be messier? Makeup artists.
I know.
They just go around town collecting info and they tell it to us.
Yes, they do. Oh, I have
God bless them.
So much tea from my makeup artist girls. But one thing that I was thinking is, do you remember Mace? Are you?
My boyfriend's name is Mace, of course.
Really?
I know Mace, the rapper.
The rapper?
Yeah.
But remember, he just like, he was part of the crew. He was part of the Bad Boys. And then all of a sudden he just up and became a pastor. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
So that was like early 2000s. Suddenly Mace just like got out of the game. I'm like, and now everyone's kind of like, oh, he saw some shit. He knew. He had to repent.
I mean, that's that's one of those things where it's like, I mean, that's good that he clearly felt bad and really went another direction, but to feel bad and go that far of a direction means you knew, means you could have probably told somebody something.
Maybe just go to the feds, go to that hot fed.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I would go if I knew even one secret. I would go tell him.
Okay, well, do you think? Because I saw a TikTok that was very like, I got in a very TikTok K-hole over this, and one of the things I saw was just this guy just kept being like, reading some of the shit from the lawsuit and was just saying, this is bad. This is so bad. He's not going to come back from this. Do you think he can come back from this?
I mean, I feel like it's the same for all artists in all fields.
Yeah.
You do something bad, if your fans show up for you still, then you're fine.
Yeah.
It's happened with people that have been canceled for like a joke that they told that got backlash. It has happened for people that have done sexual crimes and violent crimes.
Yeah.
If your fans stand by you, then you continue to work because that's who pays your bills. Yeah. And so I feel like probably enough people still would show up and see him perform if he, I don't even know if he tours.
I don't think so. I've always thought of him as more of like he's not as, like R. Kelly was incredibly talented.
Yes.
Michael Jackson is on another level. I mean, Michael Jackson, they play in the grocery store still. Like, he's fine.
Yes.
You know, at the Madonna concert.
I mean, he's dead.
He's dead. I mean,
and so it feels a little bit easier playing his music knowing it's not going to him.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, I know exactly. I know. Yeah.
But Diddy is not that talented. Like, he always struck me as more of like a glorified party promoter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a life of the party guy. I mean, I'm sure he's got his fingerprints on like producing stuff or something. But I think the one thing that does get taken away from guys that get canceled or artists that get canceled for any reason is the mainstream will no longer work with them.
Right.
So if he is doing a tour, it's not going to be promoted on the news.
Right.
People are not going to give away tickets on radio stations. It's going to have to be, he's going to have to do, podcasts that will have him on or whatever. Like there's alternate routes now, but you do get kicked out off of the mainstream at a certain point.
Right. Absolutely.
People that have sponsors will not work with sex criminals.
Yes.
But that's
true.
kind of all.
That's like, what a great boundary to have. You know?
Yeah. I mean, at least somebody's not working with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know. At least once they get caught. Okay. I have a few questions that I ask everyone and then we'll get out of here. Okay. What do you fangirl over?
That's such a good question. I definitely have found myself fangirling over like reality show stars, which is like I've met. I think maybe because we live in LA, we meet famous people. That prestige kind of goes away.
Yeah.
Whereas when you really get invested in somebody on a reality show, you've spent hours with this person.
Yes.
It's kind of like when you're a fan of somebody's podcast as opposed to their stand-up. It's much more intimate.
Yes, it is.
It's slower. Like it's really more personality driven.
Yeah.
And so when I meet people that I watch their season of a reality show, I get very really excited.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, I met like Robbie Hoffman's obviously dating Gabby, who was on The Bachelor.
Yes.
And me and my mom and my grandma watched all of the seasons of The Bachelor. My grandma thought it was too boring and left.
She's the life of the party.
Yeah, my mom also bailed on it, so now it's just me watching it.
Right.
But I love it. And so when I met Gabby from being friends with Robbie, I was like, oh, what is this flutter in my heart?
I love that.
Yeah,
that's so cute.
So I think reality show people that I connect with.
Nice. Yeah.
Who do you fangirl?
You know, it's funny when I first dancers. I'm a big dance fan.
Do you dance?
I've danced like here and there, but I was a big fan of So You Think You Can Dance, like America's Best Dance Crew, all those shows.
You like the Jabberwockies?
I love the Jabberwockies.
Of course, the Jabberwockies are amazing.
Yeah, but I also like had a dance show accidentally I used to do one in the Belly Room with comedians dance battling, and then E picked it up as a television show. It was
that's so fun.
It was crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so that but when I remember first moving here, I really got so excited when I would see like a dancer from So You Think You Can Dance.
Yes, it feels just so much more niche or something. If you see them in person, you're like, what?
You're like, you really exist?
It's you?
Yes, totally. So yeah, I'd say dancers, and then
That's the thing. It's always what your niche is. It's always like someone that's not an A-lister. It's
Yes.
always a smaller level.
yeah, well, because an A-lister, look, I love Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, I'm obsessed. Since 1990.
That's your guy?
That's my guy.
Yeah.
That's my forever hall pass.
I understand.
I'm way too old for him now, but it's like.
I mean, I'm sure you're about the same. I mean, he's probably older than you.
Oh,
but-
he is.
Yeah,
But he only dates
You're too old for
25
him. No, of
years.
course. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
No, I know that. I'm too old for him.
We're
Everyone's
all
too old for him.
But I like saw him once at Universal when I was a tour guide, and was almost gonna have to give him the tour, and I was like, no, I can't meet him like.
Oh my
this.
God, the amount of crowd work, the focused crowd work he
I
would have gotten.
know.
But I actually recently gained a little bit of empathy for his age bracket dating.
Oh, really?
I'm sure you've gotten down this hole already if you're a Leo sympathizer.
Yeah. Yes.
But he was abused by some producer when he was young.
Really?
Yeah, and so the theory is, whatever age you get abused at, a lot of people get kind of stunted at that age.
Oh, that makes sense.
And so it's kind of a little bit like he got stunted because he got whatever.
We've never talked about this on this podcast.
Well, it might
Breaking
be
news.
just a conspiracy theory. I thought this was fact, but we'll have to look into it. I'm sure people are not using this to update Wikipedia pages.
Yeah, no.
But that is what I recently altered my thoughts about him because
That makes sense. And look, it's like, I get it. He likes young, hot puss, and he can get it, you know?
I mean, if you're allowed to date absolutely anybody on the planet,
Yeah.
and you're dating a young, hot supermodel, What?
What? It's like
an older actor that used to be really hot wants to date a young hot supermodel. Like,
Yeah.
like that's not front page news.
It's not. It's definitely not. But yes, I love him. Also, I've heard behind the scenes goss that he actually does date some older ladies. They just don't pick it up because it's probably not as exciting to.
And
report
I
on.
heard that everybody that hooks up with him always has to sign NDAs too. And so it's like a lot of these ladies are getting some action and not
Yes.
telling us about it.
That makes sense.
But I'm sure the makeup artists will let us know.
The makeup artists
because I don't know if people know this, but if you sign an NDA, you're actually still allowed to tell makeup artists.
So the
That's
makeup
in
artist,
every NDA.
Yes, it
that.
is. They're like, you can only speak about this with the makeup artist.
Yes.
That's so funny. Okay, next question. I'm curious because you're from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So what? I don't know what you would have had over there. I always ask everyone Twizzlers versus Red Vines.
Oh no, we have both of those.
Okay.
I don't know if we have red vines, but I'm a licorice freak.
Really?
So I love both.
Yeah.
Red vines taste better.
Thank you.
They definitely taste better. I think we only bought Twizzlers out of my house.
Yeah.
But I also love the Twizzlers that you peel like a cheese
Pull and
string.
peel.
Yeah, love those.
Yeah.
But soft licorice is my number one. Like I'm crazy for
Like
soft.
Australian licorice.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
They have watermelon now. They have all these different flavors. Oh, so good.
You're a licorice girl.
I
too.
love licorice.
So do you like black licorice too?
I do, yeah.
So my dad, the only candy my dad had at his place, I did like summers with my dad because my parents were divorced.
Yeah.
He always had black licorice, and so I think of black licorice as my dad loving me. I've connected these things.
I love
and
that.
so-
It's nostalgic.
Yeah, I love licorice.
Yeah, I really like licorice. Also, I'm vegan, and most licorice is vegan. So
Oh, yeah, it's just like molasses.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, the Australian licorice is like my top. But I've gotten into some fights with people because they think Twizzlers are better, and I'm sorry, Twizzlers have no flavor.
It doesn't even make sense because it's like it's not a better texture, it's not a better flavor.
Thank you, God. Thank you.
They get oily.
They get real.
They get oily.
They have like a weird.
Where's the oil coming from?
Exactly. Thank
No
you.
other licorice gets oily.
I have a feeling that's true, but I have a theory that a lot of people are eating stale red vines because they do. A lot of times they'll get it out of the
Fresh red vine is unmatched.
Exactly.
It's almost better than soft licorice.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
It's so delicious.
So you like a chewy.
Mm-hmm.
I like a chewy, squishy. Me too.
Yep. Okay, last question. Do you know the phrase cum gutters?
Of course.
Really?
Of course.
Say, Aaron, we got one. We got
other people
one.
didn't know?
So he's so
Is he happy?
So Caroline Goldfarb, who I've mentioned, she brought up the phrase in an episode, like, I don't know, whenever, a year ago or whatever. And I had not heard that phrase since in many years. And I was like, oh my God, cum gutters. I love that phrase. It's so underused. And then I used it after that on a few podcasts, and
You're just going around on every podcast.
Yeah. I'm like,
slipping in cum gutters. What an interesting side quest you've created for yourself.
I'm just trying to casually
You're
slip
hilarious.
it in.
That's so funny.
But I was like, but also everyone was like, what are you talking about? No one knew it. The only other person who has known it on this podcast was Benji Aflalo, and he only knew it because he had heard it from Caroline Goldfarb.
Who doesn't know cum gutters? That's so crazy. But I also was a barista for so long with only gay men. And so there's a chance I learned it from the gay community and then just lived my life with it. And Solomon Giorgio has an amazing joke about cum gutters.
Oh, thank God.
I don't know if it was just a joke he did one time. Like, it truly could have been a throwaway line, and he's going to be mad that I'm saying this is one of his big jokes. No. But he's like, anywhere can be a cum gutter.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you knew.
Yes.
Wow, I've literally asked so many guests, and you're the first one that didn't hear it from Caroline Goldfarb.
Who needs university? Stay out of school, kids.
Exactly,
you don't need
stay out of school, kids. Well, this has been so much fun.
So much fun.
Would definitely have you on again.
Anytime.
You're hilarious. Where can everyone find you? And remind us just about your Netflix is a joke show.
Yes. Sophie Buds on Instagram. SOPHBUDS. I think it's the same on TikTok. No need to bother with Threads and Twitter.
MySpace.
Probably similar. Yeah, follow my MySpace. And yeah, I'm doing my hour for the Netflix is a Joke Festival in, what month is it right now?
It's in we're almost
right now
in
is
April.
March, April. So it's in May.
Yeah.
At the Hollywood Improv. So if you're in LA, please buy tickets. There are tickets for sale in my Instagram bio in my little link tree. And I've recently started posting political videos.
Love it.
And obviously it's like has to be short on Instagram. And so the stuff that gets cut a lot is like qualifiers for things. Because it's like I mostly just want it to be punchy and funny. And so please engage with my political stuff and assume that I've looked into what I'm talking about.
Hilarious. She's a smart girl. She's
I'm getting a lot of corrections of things that I already know.
People love to correct.
I know.
I think
I have a resting correctable face too.
That's
People
so
love
funny.
to correct me.
Well, probably because you're like pretty and blonde, and she can't be hot and smart and funny.
No,
you know?
but what people don't realize is I'm not hot. I put a lot of work into. It's like,
well, I disagree. I think you're so hot.
Thank you. I think you're so
funny.
You're so funny.
This was so fun. Thank you so much. And you guys, we'll see you next time on Glitter and Garbage. Goodbye.
Glitter and garbage.